Hey everybody, GravyTrain here with yet another episode of GravyTraining. This one is the Hero Spotlight number 28. This is Brom, Executum, Kobol, and Yorick. So let's get to it. So most of these guys are bronze, some of them are silver. So we'll go through them all pretty quickly, like some of the more recent videos. And then as some of these heroes get reworked or things like that, I'll do more focused spotlights on them. So Kobol is an arcane caster. Now remember, arcane is one of the new the new family that came about as of the Pontifex Mortis rework, where they added Selwyn, Ice Bloom, Ember, Kobol, and one or two others to the Arcane family. And basically it gives them some relatively minor synergy. It's not the most synergistic group, but there's definitely some, especially once you start looking at the arcane runes and things like that. So definitely some interesting stuff. Kind of go through my stats. I have him runed, I think, somewhat defensively. Or no, I got him runed all attack. So I do have, well, I've got a couple of arcane runes on him. And I've got a festive, and then an unbreakable heart. And the stats themselves, I've got about 12,000 offense, 6,000 defense, 3,100, 3,200 skill, and about 1,200 or 12,000 hit points. So not bad. By himself, or on a team without Pontifex Mortis, not a great hero. With Pontifex Mortis, however, disease is pretty darn good. I mean, it can be pretty darn good. You're cutting down attack and defense and healing and everything else. So okay, so Plague Spreader, chance to disease on any crit. Pretty straightforward. He's mystical, does boosted damage to tanks and slow targets. Dark Deception. Dark allies start dungeons with extra energy. So the team that I had been running was Shade, Pontifex, Kobol, and like Craw, I think. Or, I mean, it was basically, it was an all dark team. So with that, everybody starts with extra energy. Your loss, my gain. He gains energy on a death blow. And finally, Diseased Heart. When he's killed, he has a 100% chance to disease all enemies. That is blocked by disease resistance, though. His abilities, he does have an epic with defense, max health, crit chance. That's kind of a weak epic, although that's a flat additive 10%, I think. And there's the 30% chance to do 5 attacks. So not terrible. Not terrible. There's worse. His abilities then, he has Pandemic Swarm, which is a ranged dark attack on all enemies for 1,200 base damage with a chance to disease. Nothing great except you're putting out a quick disease early on. If you're teamed up with Pontifex Mortis and have the skin, you will automatically disease. So that ability's not all that great, which is also why I have Festives on it. Next is Arcane Bolts. This is actually a good power. It's a ranged spirit attack on all enemies for 981 base damage. Ignores armor and can't be shielded. So it's not a ton of damage, although that will start increasing as more arcane heroes are on the team and things like that. So that means it's not going to go through the roof, but it's not bad. But it cannot be shielded. Not that it's piercing of shields, it just can't be shielded. and it can't be mitigated in any way, and it ignores armor. So that's kind of nice. Although I said it can't be mitigated. It ignores armor and can't be shielded. It can be affected by damage resistance. And then finally, Contagion Control is a ranged spirit attack on the enemy team for 1753 base damage, lowers defense, and does 2x damage to those deceased. Or diseased, yeah. Does more damage to dead people. This one I have seen do pretty good damage. I haven't seen it do a ton. The fact that it does double against diseased, and then that's after you stack up all the other bonuses, is pretty good. So, next on our list, and I need to check my list, although I know Executum is one of them, so we'll just jump to him. I do not have him ruined. I haven't used him in a long time. He's an undead tank. Pretty straightforward. His stats, nothing to write home about. He's a bronze hero. His traits, Soulless Scourge, so he's immune to poison, venom, wound, and disease. And he life steals 25% of damage dealt. 25% of very little is still even littler. So he's a light hunter. He has boosted damage versus light enemies. Woohoo! He's armored, takes less damage from physical attacks and more damage from heroes like Therend. Undead Guard 2 increases his defense by 30% for all undead allies. That's not bad. Especially if he's like all defense, which he probably should be. Ooh. No epic. Then we've got Vigilance. So Vigilance is he enters a defensive stance, which gives him a 53% chance jump in front of any ally being attacked, with a 25% chance to parry, and halves the attacker's crit chance. So, yeah, except that he really isn't going to take much of a hit anyways. Void Taunt. It taunts and adds a 40% chance to debuff the enemy. 71% attack, 71% defense, 71% skill, and 70% crit. Starts powered. That is... So he does target a single enemy with this, and it causes him to taunt, and then does the debuff, so it's not like he does it on anybody that attacks him, which would actually be good. This is still targeted. And then finally, Void Strike. It's a melee physical attack on an enemy for 1554 base damage, buffs team defense, and a 40% chance to debuff the enemy, blah blah blah, the same thing that we just went through, the attack, defense, skill, and crit. So he's not a hero you generally want to be using. I mean, for PvE, he's probably great. For PvP, don't do it. Next, if we go to silver heroes, we have Brom. So Brom got a rework about 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, something like that. About 4 months ago now. Ugh, time flies. He's a slow undead warrior. He does have an epic. It's attack, defense, and skill. A pretty solid epic. The effect is 30% chance to heal 3x, or to deal 3x unhealable damage and haunt on a hit. So, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, so his stats, he is slow, which means he's going to retaliate. And he goes last. He is undead, so he gets the undead resistances. Soul Collector heals and buffs attack when getting a killing blow. So every time he kills somebody, he gets healed and gets an attack boost. Not bad. Touch of Death 3. Attacks have a 100% base chance to crit on targets with max health below 25%. So that's a good kind of finishing move. Then this one is the reason to use Zom. Mortal Reminder. When Life Reaper Brom... Did I say Zom earlier? I probably meant Brom. when Life Reaper Brom enters a dungeon room, enemy max health is set to 75% of their current health. So what that means is they don't take 25% damage. They take, say their health was 10,000. Their top health gets moved down to 7,500 along with their health total. So they're still at 100% health, but they've just lost 25% of their health before the battle starts. So they come in and it looks like everything is all peachy keen, you've got full health, but that's a full health bar of 7,500, not a full health bar of 10,000. If that makes sense. And I mean, his base stats aren't bad. He's got a pretty good attack, pretty good defense as a result of the epic, so Brom is not bad. And then Yorick. I would make a Shakespeare joke, but I don't really know that play very well, and I would probably misuse it, so I will just refrain. So, I'm sure at one time Yorick was pretty good, and Starscream would probably, like, hurt his feelings when I say that this hero is not very good, but this hero is not very good. He is a silver hero. He's a rogue undead. His stats, he has the undead Soul of Scourge, so he's got the immunities. He cannot be frozen, chilled, nor frostbitten. That's not terrible. He gives all undead allies a 75% chance to chill on basic attacks. It sounds good, but all that chill does is it prevents you from naturally gaining energy every round. So unless you have some other energy source, you're not going to be gaining new abilities or refresh abilities. Over long battles is great, so it's not bad in like PvE. PvP battles, you want the battle to be over before that even begins to matter. So chill is not great. Chilling Skin, he has a small chance to chill melee attackers, like why? And that's it. Stats are unremarkable. He does have an epic, for what that's worth. It's attack, health, and crit chance, with a 30% chance to deal 3x damage and heal undead allies. Whoop-de-doo. So Marked for Death adds a mark on a target that increases damage taken by 259%, and reduce healing for all enemies. So you mark one person to take effectively almost 3 times more damage, and then healing is reduced for everybody. So that ability isn't bad, but it doesn't do any damage. It's just a debuff. Next, Warding Strike. So it's a melee physical attack for 3,600 base damage that lowers target defense and purges all buffs. This isn't terrible. The attack damage is decent. The defense debuff and purging is nice. It's not enough to kind of offset the fact that he's not fast, he's not anything else, so... And Lifeless Breath is a ranged water attack on an enemy for 3856 base damage, applies Frostbite to target enemy, and splash damage to all enemies. So this one is at least AoE. And it does apply Frostbite, which is a little bit worse than Chill, meaning you put this on an ability, and if you use it, you lose 20% health. 25% of max health, I think. So it can actually kill you. Either way, not a hero when you look at what he can be replaced by. Not until he gets a rework, so. And that seems to be about it. So, yeah. That is all of the heroes. Thanks for joining me for this video. I'm going to try to get through all the rest. There's a lot of heroes to do yet. So they will probably be this format pretty quick. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Tell me what you thought in the comments down below. If you're not subscribed, please do so. It definitely helps me grow the channel. And yeah, check out my Discord. It's in the links below. And the public Dungeon Boss Discord is there as well. My Twitter is there, so you know where to find me. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.